Today we're working on section 7.2, which is more definitions. So this section is all about angles and their definitions. So an angle is two rays with a common endpoint. Remember, a ray has an endpoint and one other side that extends on forever. Some ways that you can write this angle. You can write it as angle 1, angle A, angle B, A, C, because it's showing we're going from here to there, or angle C, A, B. An acute angle is an angle that's bigger than 0, but it's less than 90 degrees. A right angle is an angle that measures 90 degrees. And to show that an angle measures 90 degrees, we put a square in that bottom section of that box, or that angle. An obtuse angle is an angle that is greater than 90, but it's less than 180. 180 degrees is going to be a straight line. Straight angles, again, are lines. Congruent angles are angles that have the exact same measurement. So when we're talking about the measurement of the angle, we put M and then the angle. So measurement of angle 1, the congruent symbol has that squiggle over the equal sign. Measure of angle 2. That says the measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 2. We okay so far? Vertical angles are angles that are directly across from one another. They are always congruent. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And we show that by having one curve for each that shows that those two angles are congruent. So measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 2. Additionally, the measure of angle 3 is congruent to the measure of angle 4. Now we're going to show that with a double curve because we want to show that 3 and 4 are congruent, but they are not congruent to 1 and 2. So measure of angle 3 is congruent to the measure of angle 4. And these are called vertical angles. Okay. Adjacent angles are two angles that have a common ray. So think about adjacent as touching. Okay, so here, if we have B, A, C, and D. So AD, ray AD, is a common ray. Joining angle BAD and CAD. Actually, yeah. I'm going to make one change here. That D should actually be on the middle. And the C should be on the end. Sorry about that. Because this one is joining BAD and CAD. Those are adjacent angles because they're touching, they're right next to one another. Okay? Complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. They can be separate or adjacent. So the measure of angle QPR plus the measure of angle UST is equal to 90 degrees. That's how you know it's complementary, is because those two angles add up to 90. The angle measurement of QPR is 30 degrees. And the measure of angle UST is 60 degrees. Now, supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So complementary add up to 90. Supplementary add up to 180. So the measure of angle GFH plus the measure of angle LJK is equal to 180 degrees. And we can see that because 70 degrees plus 110 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. One of the ways that I like to think about it, C comes before S in the alphabet. 90 comes before 180 in counting numbers. So complementary is 90, supplementary is 180. Have you guys seen any of this before? If not, that's okay. Do any of you recognize any of this?
Yeah.
Okay. So last part. We want to draw and label a pair of angles that are supplementary and adjacent. What does the word supplementary mean? What does the word supplementary mean? They add up to? (180°). So that means we're going to have a straight line between the two angles. So MKS MKS is one angle, and EKS is the other. KS is the ray that they have in common, and these two angles add up to 180°. K is going to be your vertex. Because it's in the middle of both angle names. Additionally, the angles are supplementary and adjacent. They're called a linear pair. So again, angles that are both supplementary and adjacent, meaning they're touching, are called a linear pair. Any questions?